The Superstition Mountains are the site of some of the West's most famous myths: legends of cursed gold, Apache warriors, and the lost mine of a Dutchman. But the most harrowing stories of the frontier didn't happen in the high peaks. They happened just 2 miles away, in the 110-degree heat and dirt of Mesa, Arizona. This was the world of 7-year-old Elizabeth DeWitt, a fiery, red-headed girl who spent her childhood navigating the skeet brush and dusty lanes. To understand how she lived, you have to look past the gunfights and gold rushes. History here exists in the gritty, physical architecture of survival. Elizabeth's first home was remarkably fragile: 2 canvas tents with board floors, built directly over an irrigation ditch. Her family's entire safety net was tied to her father's work as a cattle rancher. In this landscape, the shelter you could afford was only as strong as the herd. When the Great Drought hit at the turn of the century, it wiped out the family's cattle and left them in poverty. When the rains finally arrived to end the drought, they brought a fatal irony. The sudden cold and dampness caused Elizabeth's father to develop pneumonia. He died that night. With the provider gone, those canvas walls were a trap. They offered no real protection for a widow and 4 young children. Elizabeth's mother had to evolve the house to survive. She tore down the fire trap temps and used the last of her husband's savings to build 2 solid brick rooms. To pay for them, she turned the home into a hub for a makeshift economy, sewing for neighbors and bartering with local Native Americans for laundry services and wood. Inside these rooms, the family practiced a desperate kind of medicine. To keep the children alive through croup and diphtheria, they used kerosene and onion poultices as their primary defense. These walls were more than a shelter. They were a physical memorial. Every brick was paid for by the final wishes of a man who didn't live to see them stacked. But while the brick rooms stopped the wind, they drained the family's finances, forcing Elizabeth's mother into a desperate choice. By 1909, out of money and options, her mother married Charles Peterson, a man 20 years her senior, simply to secure a financial future. The house grew again out of necessity. Charles brought his children, tacking cheap lumber rooms onto the brick house. The new layout turned Elizabeth into an intruder, forced to share a bed with a stepsister who spent nights hitting her. The blended family lived in a state of constant friction. It peaked when the stepbrothers stole a Sunday chicken dinner, and Elizabeth nearly attacked one of them with a sharp gardening hoe. The expansion of the house saved the family from starvation, but it turned the rooms into a site of emotional claustrophobia. The breaking point came when Elizabeth met Kenneth DeWitt. He offered her a life that wasn't defined by the survival of her parents' ranch. When Kenneth told her he loved her, Elizabeth's response was shaped by years of frontier pragmatism. She simply told him, "I'll try to love you." Kenneth's new Ford car represented a level of mobility that the fixed brick walls of the ranch couldn't provide. It was a way out. Elizabeth quit her teaching job and secretly eloped with Kenneth. She walked out of the house and its history, choosing a future she could move through on her own terms. Today, the Superstition Mountains still loom over the Salt River Valley. While seekers still hunt for gold in the peaks, Elizabeth's record shows a different journey, one defined by building through the canvas, the brick, and the lumber, until she was finally ready to outgrow them.